Hey everyone, welcome back to Fenralion Gamer. Naughty Dog is reaching for the stars literally with its most ambitious project yet, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. In this video, we're breaking down everything we know so far based on official statements, the trailer, and what trusted journalists have said. The story, gameplay, clues, cast, music, and release window, it's all here. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dive videos like this. Alright, let's jump in. Intergalactic is a brand new IP revealed at the Game Awards 2024. It's being developed for PS5 and takes us thousands of years into the future to an isolated planet called Semperia. Our main character is a charismatic bounty hunter named Jordan A. Munn, played by Tati Gabrielle, who you might remember as Nora from The Last of Us Season 2. The trailer immediately sets a cinematic tone, pure Naughty Dog from the very first second. Semperia is a planet that's been cut off from the rest of the galaxy for over 600 years. No one gets in and no one gets out. Jordan's target is Colin Graves, but a photo we see aboard his ship suggests this mission might be more personal than it seems. The atmosphere bleeds red hues, with a shattered moon hanging in the sky and a massive mech waiting in the shadows. From the first glimpse, Naughty Dog nails a tense, sci-fi western vibe. Gameplay details are still scarce, but the final shot of the trailer, Jordan drawing his sword and charging at the mech, screams close-quarters combat. The studio promises its deepest gameplay systems yet, which hints at environmental storytelling, fluid animations, tactical melee combat, and possibly more open exploration. I'll keep speculation separate, and I'll flag everything that's confirmed as we go. On the cast side, Tati Gabrielle is confirmed, and Kumail Nanjiani is reportedly playing Colin Graves. Music-wise, the legendary duo Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are said to be scoring the game, which means a dark, industrial soundscape is coming. Neil Druckmann calls this the most ambitious, most expansive, and possibly the most expensive Naughty Dog title ever. As for release, no date yet, but most sources suggest 2027 or later. According to Druckmann, the studio is firing on all cylinders, and Intergalactic represents a new era for Naughty Dog in both storytelling and tech. The game is built from the ground up to fully harness PS5 hardware, promising wide-open areas, dynamic lighting, and an atmospheric experience driven by Reznor and Ross's haunting synth-heavy score. The updated ND engine aims for film-level visuals in real time, 4 Kelvin's lighting transitions, expressive facial animation, and zero load screens. In terms of themes, Intergalactic pushes way past the studio's usual boundaries. Where The Last of Us explored survival, this story questions faith itself. It's set on Semperia, a world rooted in a 2,000-year-old religion. Rumors speak of a heretic prophet, a figure who threatens the sacred order. Jordan becomes trapped in the middle, both the hunter and the potential sinner. The story's philosophical and moral tension could make this one of the boldest narratives Naughty Dog has ever attempted. Structurally, this game sounds slightly more open than past ND titles. The devs describe it as exploration forward, giving players freedom to move through different parts of Semperia at their own pace, something close to a semi-open world, but still anchored by a strong cinematic story. Druckmann said it best. First and foremost, it's a powerful video game, and from that, an expanding universe. From the brief gameplay glimpses we have, melee combat and swordplay seem front and center. Instead of heavy firearms, expect energy blades, environmental traps, and tactical maneuvers. Given Naughty Dog's history, we'll likely see fluid combo systems, parries, and maybe cinematic QuickTime sequences woven into real gameplay. As a bounty hunter, Jordan's arsenal could also include stealth and tracking mechanics. Technically, PS5's SSD will make planet traversal almost seamless. Naughty Dog has always disguised loading screens inside story moments, but now it's aiming for real-time planetary transitions. No fade-outs, no cuts. Combine that with PS5's 3D audio tech and Reznor and Ross's eerie synth ambience, and you get total immersion, a feeling of spiritual isolation that echoes the game's themes. Jordan A. Munn might be Naughty Dog's most layered protagonist yet. Every line in the trailer carries her restrained rage and conviction. She's not just a bounty hunter, she's a believer confronting her own past. That split-second scene where she stares at Colin Graves' photo, it says everything. It's personal. Just like every indie story, emotion is the real engine here. Colin Graves, played by Kumail Nanjiani, isn't your typical villain either. Reports suggest he's an ex-ally of Jordan's, maybe the symbol of an old betrayal. Some outlets mention a criminal group called Five Aces tied to a religious syndicate. That means the story won't just be about revenge, it's about the clash between belief and power. Even the enemy designs follow that theme. The robots of Semperia aren't just mechanical monsters. They're sacred guardians from a long-dead civilization. The giant multi-arm mech in the trailer emerges from temple ruins, making each fight symbolic. Naughty Dog's art team seems to blend religious imagery with high-tech design, creating a world that's both spiritual and terrifying. The hierarchy of Semperia's faith remains mysterious. The locals have condemned the heretic prophet, but underground circles still whisper their teachings. Jordan's discovery of these doctrines might force the player to ask, is faith dangerous, or is blind obedience the real threat? Druckmann says the story centers on humanity's search for meaning. This is Naughty Dog's first narrative built entirely on philosophical and theological foundations. Behind the scenes, this is a new writing model for the studio. For the first time, Naughty Dog used a writer's room approach like a TV show instead of a single lead writer. That allows more characters, interwoven dialogue arcs, and layered world-building. Druckmann has reportedly drawn inspiration from conversations with Alex Garland, which fits the game's cinematic tone. This could mark a turning point for how Naughty Dog tells stories. Musically, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross elevate the entire tone. Those dark, echoing synths in the trailer feel both mechanical and spiritual. Like Gone Girl and The Social Network, they craft an unsettling emotional void, this time applied to space, faith, and isolation. There are no classic emotional strings here. Instead, metallic echoes, distorted breaths, and digital choirs build a haunting soundscape. Technically, the game is pushing PS5 to its limits. Naughty Dog is taking the facial and environmental fidelity of The Last of Us Part 2 and cranking it even higher. The new engine supports real-time reflections, refracted light, and dynamic particle systems that make every frame feel cinematic. There are no loading screens. Transitions from ship to surface happen seamlessly in real time. Total immersion, start to finish. On gameplay depth, the devs mention regional storytelling systems. That means player choices about where to go, who to help, or who to kill could subtly reshape story details. It's not full open-world freedom, but it introduces meaningful variation within Naughty Dog's trademark linear structure. Think of it as cinematic storytelling meeting Elden Ring-style agency. Expectations are sky-high. Fans looking for an emotional follow-up to The Last of Us might find their next obsession here. Intergalactic doesn't just fill that void, it could redefine the studio's identity. Druckmann's comment that if it succeeds, it will expand hints at sequels or even a film divided by TV adaptation. PlayStation reportedly sees this as a flagship franchise for the next console generation. Of course, that vision comes with risks. Heavy religious themes, slower philosophical pacing, or overly linear gameplay could divide players. But Naughty Dog has always turned risk into legacy. The Last of Us was a gamble too, and it changed gaming forever. Intergalactic feels just as ambitious a project with no room for failure. The release window remains unconfirmed, but inside the reports point to 2027. Looking at past development cycles, that adds up. Uncharted 4 took 4 years. The Last of Us Part 2 took 7. Given the scale here, late 2027 or even 2028 seems likely. Sony wants this to drop at the peak of the PS5 era, possibly alongside a PS5 Pro enhanced mode. Marketing-wise, the message is clear. A new era of Naughty Dog. After the Game Awards reveal, the studio's gone silent, fueling speculation. The next big moment will probably be a gameplay reveal during Summer Game Fest 2026 or a PlayStation showcase. Sony plans to market it as not just a release, but a milestone event like The Last of Us was for PS3. A PC port seems likely down the road. Given Sony's recent trend with Horizon, God of War, and The Last of Us Part 1, we can expect Intergalactic to arrive on PC a year or two after launch. But at release, it'll be a PS5 exclusive. Later, an enhanced edition for PC would make total sense. Druckmann has also confirmed a second project in development, a smaller, more experimental title with a totally different tone. While details are secret, it sounds like both games define the next phase of Naughty Dog's evolution. So Intergalactic isn't just another title. It's the cornerstone of a new creative direction. In the end, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is unlike anything Naughty Dog has ever made. It fuses cinematic storytelling with sci-fi, philosophy, and next-gen technology. With Reznor and Ross's music, Jordan A. Munn's haunting journey, and Druckmann calling it the studio's most ambitious and most expensive project yet. This could easily become one of the most anticipated games of the decade. If everything goes as planned, Intergalactic won't just define Naughty Dog's future, it could redefine the gaming industry itself. Thanks for watching. If you're as hyped for Naughty Dog's space adventure as I am, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your theories in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.